Okay, so we see it everywhere, right?
Yeah.
These perfectly curated lives online, this constant push to be happy, be positive all the time. But, does chasing that actually make us feel worse? It feels like a weird treadmill. Okay, let's unpack this.
Exactly. And that's really the core of what I explore in my article, why your Instagram feed is making you miserable. It's on my blog, Bullish Books. I argue this whole approach, this relentless positivity thing, it's actually, well, backwards. It builds on Mark Manson's ideas, challenging how we usually think about self-help.
Right. So today, our mission is really to dig into this kind of counterintuitive idea, how choosing what gets your attention, and maybe more importantly, what doesn't, can genuinely change things.
Yeah, because modern culture often tells us negative feelings like anxiety or fear or sadness are just not okay. And that creates this, what I call an anxiety spiral. You're not just worried about something, you get anxious about being anxious. It's awful.
It's such a paradox, isn't it? Like, wanting positive experiences all the time is itself negative. But accepting the negative stuff, that can actually be positive. It messes with your head a bit.
It really does. But it's crucial here, not giving a feck, in the Manson sense, isn't about apathy. It's not about not caring at all. It's more like being comfortable, being different, choosing what really deserves your energy. Like Charles Bukowski's whole don't try thing on his gravestone. Brutal honesty. Our values often get defined by the things we decide not to care about.
Okay, so if values are defined by what we reject, what's behind this constant need for more? You argue it's like baked into us biologically.
Pretty much, yeah. We seem wired for a certain level of dissatisfaction, pain, whether it's physical or emotional. It's basically our body's alert system, pushing us to act, change something. It's constant pressure. Even the Buddha said suffering is inevitable, right?
Yeah.
So my article takes that idea and says, look, fulfillment isn't about avoiding pain. It's about choosing the problems you actually maybe even enjoy solving. Choosing your suffering, basically.
Which connects directly to that idea you write about, the entitlement epidemic. If pain is meant to spur action, what happens when people feel they deserve success without the struggle?
Well, you get the everyone is special issue. It sounds nice, but it can lead to folks feeling entitled, like the Jimmy example I use, expecting rewards without the work. Real self-worth isn't just feeling good. It's also about how you deal with the tough stuff, taking responsibility. Accepting maybe you're not uniquely special can be, surprisingly, quite freeing.
Mm. And getting there needs real self-awareness. You talk about 3 levels. Recognizing emotions, then understanding why they happen.
Yeah, and the third, the deepest level, is looking at your core values. Most people, honestly, kind of get stuck on level 1, just feeling the feelings. And often, society pushes what Manson calls shitty values. Chasing pleasure, money, always needing to be right. These just create problems you can't solve. Better values like honesty or growth, they're based in reality. You can work on them. Think about Dave Mustaine, bitter about Metallica for years, versus Pete Best, kicked out of the Beatles, who found happiness elsewhere by choosing different values.
It's a stark comparison. So problems are always going to be there, but the suffering part, that's about choice, about what pain you'll accept.
Exactly. It's the difference between fault and responsibility. You might not be at fault for, say, your genetics, but you are responsible for how you react. Like Mark Manson talks about losing his friend Josh tragically. That pain, that huge negative experience, it became this permission for him to really live, to take responsibility for his own life and choices. Suffering, accepted, can fuel purpose.
Wow. Okay, so for someone listening wanting to live more intentionally, what's the starting point? How do we choose our struggles wisely?
First, maybe do a quick, honest audit. Where's your mental energy, your facts going? What trivial stuff is draining you? Then, consciously pick your battles. What pain are you actually willing to put up with for the things you truly value? Also, practice humility. Ask yourself, what if I'm wrong here? What would that mean? Would being wrong make things better or worse? That's huge. And learn to say no. Set boundaries. Sometimes conflict is necessary for real connection. Finally, just start doing stuff. Action first. Motivation often kicks in after you start, not before. Like that novelist trick. Just write 200 crappy words a day, and eventually it flows.
That's really practical advice. It
Yeah.
feels less like a finish line and more like
Yeah.
an ongoing practice, right? Getting comfortable with discomfort, choosing values deliberately. Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. Making peace with life not being perfect.
Exactly. The world probably doesn't need more people chasing validation or dodging responsibility. It needs people okay with uncertainty, willing to fail sometimes, honest, committed to things beyond just feeling good. And that choice, that's yours to make. It really defines your life's quality. So what does this all mean for you listening right now? If you're ready to explore building a life with more meaning, not just chasing temporary happiness, come visit bullishbooks.com. You can subscribe to my newsletter there for more on psychology, philosophy, and just practical ways to live more